Sometimes I don't know how to offset it, the words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. If seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world? Or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that. Yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, you learn not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face much dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate is God's really not. Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body, rock, hardcore, karate, chop, neo-Nazi, nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean banging it and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need, and I want you to succeed. I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample for me, so get up. Another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean banging it and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need, and I want you to succeed. I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample for me, so get up.
the one drinking beer. I'm just water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest
high
Super Bowl
expectations.
time.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 167. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I'm your other co-host, Mahlon Dennis.
And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
Welcome back, folks. It is good to see both of you. Nestor, welcome back. Since you were not here last week, good to have you here.
Glad to surprise.
Yes. Mahlon, how are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. It looks like Nestor doesn't have any more Christmas trees up, so
Stop multiplying.
they're not multiplying.
Would you care to delight in a shot to start the show?
I got some
Taking
beer.
it easy tonight. I need a sharp mind.
I'll have a beer in the second half. I was too busy trying to get the internet to work.
Cheers to you both. All right. June will not be on the show, as you can see clearly. We need to stop this habit of your team gets blown out and then the next week you don't show up, because it's becoming a trend here.
Kind of has a habit of that, doesn't he?
Right.
And then you have, Shat didn't even wait for the year to start and his team get blown out. He just preemptively went on a hiatus before the year started. He was like, shit, we bring back Pickett?
You just got
You know what's funny? You guys want to know what's funny? I wore my Dolphins T-shirt to the airport. I already planned my outfit. So when they lost, I was like, fuck. I have to wear these motherfuckers T-shirt. That was horrible. I was so pissed off.
Well, you bounced back last week, so all is well now.
You kept us all from having to see Aaron Rodgers the rest of this year, so we salute you, sir.
Yeah, there was some mayhem that went on Monday. Yeah, Monday night. Let's just get right into it, folks. We're going to start off by recapping last week. So, Monday night, there was
Not even going to tell where they can hear us, huh?
No. You guys can figure that out. We've only done 167 of these things. So, if you did not see the Monday night game, first of all, shame on you, because that was a great game. But final score is 20-17. Seahawks pulling off the upset against the NFC East finest, Philadelphia Eagles. Let's start off with you, Mahlon. First of all, what was the roller coaster like for you? And then second of all, what's going on with the Eagles?
Okay. Well, being a Seahawks fan, it has not been fun for the last month. When you start off 5-2, and the next thing you know, you're 6-7. That's not fun football. I'm just glad I had my Huskies in November that kept winning games, because being a Seahawks fan was just a lot. But you go into this game, in a game you had to have. I think what they were saying before the game is if we had won the game, we'd have a 49% chance of making the playoffs. And if we lost the game, we'd have a 12% chance of making the playoffs. I'm not going to lie. I was hyped before the game. I was like, we don't have to worry about Slay. Jalen Hurts is hurt. It's great. You should put that on a T-shirt. And then they came out there that first drive, and I was like, he don't look that hurt, man. He doesn't look actually like he's heard it all. This is bullshit reporting. These are the same people that said Otani was going to go to Toronto. The same people that saying he was hurt, he was sick. So that was some bullshit. And then having Drew Lock out there, that makes you nervous. Um, but to see the Eagles struggle against the Seahawks the same way they struggled against the 49ers and the same way they struggled against the Cowboys, meaning that those are two teams that have lost 3 and 4 games, the 49ers and the Cowboys. Now you're going up against the Seahawks team that has 7 losses on the season. They've lost 4 straight. If you're the Eagles that went to the Super Bowl last year, you should be able to handle the reeling Seahawks with injuries. On defense, we didn't have our 2 starting corners out there. We sent Jamal Adams home. That was great. He was a healthy scratch, except he's a mental head case. So I'm glad he wasn't there. We played better. Let's just say that Jamal Adams would not have had the same 2 interceptions that Love had in that game. So I'm really glad that Jamal Adams can keep his ass at home. Sue him for the money later because that's grand theft. Trading 2 first-round picks for his ass. But to see the Eagles still struggle on offense, and the one thing that they were supposed to be great at is run defense, and to see Walker run all over their ass, and then at the end of the game, you've been shutting down Locke the entire time. You have less than 2 minutes, 92 yards, and you let Drew Lock fire dimes on people. And Metcalf went off. It is one of the first times I've been proud of Metcalf in a while. Some of those catches he made was insane. I got to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure that catch that Smith and Jigma made for the touchdown was actually a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I saw the hand and the knee and the slide and I was like, I'm like that was close, but they confirmed it. But to see the Eagles struggle, they got a lot going on, man. I think they're missing their coordinators. I think they're missing their offensive and the defensive coordinators. I don't think we talked about that enough during the offseason. We just expected them to just slide 2 of the people in there, and they would be fine. But I mean, the fact that now you got Matt Patricia calling games defensively, yet the defensive coordinator is still the defensive coordinator. That's weird. Swift, he might as well have been a healthy scratch and inactive. I don't know what they were doing. And they forgot that they had A.J. Brown on offense. I'm glad they did, but they forgot that they actually traded for him. So they got short-term memory loss. They got coaching issues. Jalen Hurts calling people out in the media after the game, saying the team ain't committed enough. They've won 10 games, right? They've won 10 games, right? And I think they've already clinched a playoff spot. So they're going.
Right.
But are they going to make a ruckus? I don't know, man. It did not look like a Super Bowl contending team up against a 4 straight loss Seahawks.
Yeah, before we, Nestor, I'm going to kick it to you. I just want to shout out to my man Jimmy in the chat who's watching us right now. What is up, my man? Appreciate you coming out. With that being said, though, Nestor, what's going on with the Eagles?
Yeah, like Mahlon said, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, they're not getting it done. Just bad strategy. I don't know what's going on, but they're just failing pretty hard. I think the last 3 games they have failed to score 20 points, and after that a blowout loss against the Niners, I just feel like it's compounding, and they lost a lot of that confidence. So yeah, being outscored by more than 35 points in the last 3 games spells trouble. You got to get that confidence back, and you got to look closely at what you're doing wrong on offense and defense. Otherwise, yeah, they're definitely gonna make a ruckus when they go into the playoffs, because you carry this into there, then any team can really surprise you. I wish this would have happened sooner in the season, so I wouldn't have lost to so many people that had guys like AJ Brown on their team.
Right.
in fantasy. But regardless of that, they got to figure out what they got to figure out what they need to do because the numbers they're speaking very loudly. So they need to figure it out quick.
I love how Nestor took a week off and he's still talking about fantasy.
I'm still hurt about that too.
Meanwhile, I'm getting my ass beat by Broadway Joe because fucking Tyreek Hill doesn't play last week, so Waddle goes off on my ass.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Mahlon, you mentioned it. I think this team is really missing their coordinators on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they still have all those pieces. Everybody's still there. That's a very talented quarterback that I think a lot of people in the NFL would love to have. They've got very talented wide receivers, very good offensive line. Running game is solid. Like all the talent is all there, and a lot of it is the same as what they had last year. It's just a matter of they lost their OC. Sirianni is just kind of floating around, seemingly trying to call everything on his own, and it doesn't seem to be working out very well. And then defensively, if you have to settle for Matt Patricia as your defensive coordinator, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. The thing is, when we were talking about this team back in like September, October-ish, when we were like, something's kind of off with the team, like they were finding ways to win, but it was always ugly. A lot of the same stuff that we were talking about then is really just starting to rear its ugly head now that everybody's kind of coming to form and everybody is playing a lot better. Everybody's kind of starting to peak now and not just getting through their September woes of figuring everything out. And the Eagles are still kind of stuck back in those early season ways where they really just didn't know what the hell they were doing. And the offense just was like a mess a lot of the times. So they just seem unorganized and they need some really good coaching and on both sides of the ball specifically, like some direction more so, which is seemingly what they're lacking because they have the talent without a doubt. So I think it's a lack of coordination.
Are we still, because I know we've talked about this in the show before, like, are we still convinced that Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback in the NFL? Or do people just have revisionist history over last year's Super Bowl when he threw for like almost 400 yards?
We did touch on this last week, but I still say that he's a franchise quarterback.
Great last year, and he hasn't been great. 19 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. I mean, could it be that he just had a flash in the pan? I mean, he sounds to me more like what was his name, Nick Folk, that led the Eagles to a Super Bowl, but didn't really do much before or after. Then he is like this great quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he doesn't even have a 60 QBR right now. So I don't know. I'm still not sold on him. I know you are, Jalen. I don't know if it's because you guys share the same name. But you don't like Jaylen Brown either with the Celtics. So
right. So I'm not completely Jalen biased. So it is what it is. Maybe just because my quarterback is currently Bailey Zappi. So Jalen Hurts is a mountain better than that. So I don't know. But yeah, Eagles, we'll see what they've got to correct themselves with as they come up on the playoffs. Like you said, they've already clinched their playoff spots, so there's that. But
they also have 3 really easy games.
Right. So
I mean, they played the Giants twice and the Cardinals. you can't beat those 2 teams. Come
on. Staying in the NFC East here, the Cowboys also got beat down, which was kind of funny because all the Eagles fans, Sunday saw that, were like, yo, ha ha, and then the next day suffered that L, so couldn't really say much. But yeah, the Cowboys got blown out 31-10, and the Bills trying to flex the muscles again. So, Mahlon, are the Bills back to being title contenders?
No, no, they're not. I think it's more realistic that the Cowboys are back to being the Cowboys than it is for the Bills being back to being title contenders. Mainly because they didn't win the way you normally would win. I mean, how does Buffalo win 31-10 and Josh Allen doesn't even have 100 yards passing? But he threw 15 passes. I mean, Cook running for almost 200 yards on you. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's not a typical Bills
Right.
game. I think they took the deficiencies that Dallas has, and just kind of ran it up on them. I think home field advantage says a lot for Buffalo being in Buffalo. They're not going to be at home in the playoffs. Just Dak Prescott, it was fun being in the MVP race for like 3 weeks. That was cool. Now we got to listen about Brock Purdy again. We didn't have to listen to Brock Purdy for 1 week. And now we got to listen about Brock Purdy again. So way to go, Prescott. CeeDee Lamb keeps saying, I'm the best receiver in the league. 7 catches, 53, 54 yards. What are we talking about? So yeah, I think the Bills are what they are. I think they're a scary team, but a title contender, I would put the Chiefs as long as they kill Tony, and don't let him touch the field again. I'd put them ahead of the Bills. I'd put Miami ahead of the Bills. I would put, obviously Baltimore ahead of the Bills. Hell, I might even put Cleveland in that elite defense over the Bills right now, because Cleveland at least is played more consistently, and they got a defense that travels. So
Nestor.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the stats and I was like, it's hard to see that result, 31 to 10. So I have to agree that it's the Cowboys being the Cowboys, because I don't, apart from the fact that, I mean, they did neutralize Michael Parsons. They did stop him from getting to Josh Allen just enough so that, James Cook could run the ball, that Josh Allen could decently pass the ball. Again, they're getting it done a lot with their tight ends, with Dawson Knox, or whether it's Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid in there, because you can forget about guys like Stephon Diggs. They don't even matter. I don't even know if he's still on the team, but yeah, I don't think they're title contenders. I don't. I don't. I think they're a team that nobody really wants to face, because you would expect them to be a little bit higher up, right? I don't. I don't think any team wants to actually face them. Um, But as far as getting to the Super Bowl or getting far, no, because they're just carrying the same problems either way. Um, so their interim, whatever you call it, offensive coordinator, I don't know, I forgot his name. He's doing pretty good, but um, Bills not title contenders.
yeah, people don't want to face them in the playoffs because of their potential, not because of their
Right.
body of work.
Yeah, when you have a quarterback who's that talented, wide receiver that talented, like they could have this kind of a game where they just go off, and it's like you just
Right.
don't want to see that. But I will say they are two different teams. Buffalo at home and Buffalo away, two very different teams this year. So like you mentioned, Mahlon, if they do make the playoffs, they're not going to be playing at home pretty much at all. So there's that. Which I do think they are still a playoff team. Like they could very well still make the playoffs. However, I do not think that they are title contenders still. This is more so, the Cowboys had just one of those games. They kind of laid an egg. And this is one of the games where the Bills just everything went their way. Every team kind of has one of these games every year where it's just everything's clicking and you're able to do kind of whatever you want, especially when it comes to the run game. When James Cook is running for 200 yards, it just opens everything up, and it's like, what can you do as the opposing team at that point? So, when everything goes your way, sure, you look really good. They have won, I think it's 3 out of their 4 last games. But when you look at the wins, it was this one where everything went their way. The other one was against the Jets, and then the third was against the Chiefs when Kadarius Toney was playing for the Buffalo Bills. So when you take all things in consideration, it's still like that doesn't sound like a Super Bowl contending team. A lot of the issues they still have, are still lingering. And then when you look at the rest of their schedule, they still have LA, the Chargers. They're playing my Patriots, and then they play Nestor's Dolphins. Besides the Chargers, those are still going to be tougher games. Even though we have no business giving the Bills a fight, we will. And then Dolphins are not going to be easy at all. So, the Bills. Mahlon mentioned a bunch of teams that are better than them. I'm going to throw in the Bengals, too. I think the Bengals could beat them in a playoff situation, even with Browning.
Browning, baby.
Yeah.
Careful with that man.
Right. I have more faith in Cincinnati than I do Buffalo at this point. So, with all that being said, sounds like none of us are buying the Super Bowl contention when it comes to the Buffalo Bills.
Nope.
Yeah, so we can move on from them to the last bit of the recap here, which is so the Ravens and the Jags on Sunday Night Football, 23-7 was the final score. Mahlon, have you lost faith in good old Duval?
It's hard to lose faith in a team that you didn't really necessarily have that much faith in to begin with. I believe what was his name that came on this show that told us that Daniel Jones was going to be the MVP. I forget
TD.
his name. TD. He's in the witness protection program right now. He also said that Calvin Ridley was going to have a great year. And Calvin Ridley has been Jekyll and Hyde, meaning that he's great when I get sick of him and I put him on the bench because he underperforms, and then he goes off, and then I put him back into the starting lineup, and then he does shit again. So I don't know, man. They haven't looked the same since he hurt his ankle against Cincy. And when I mean by him, I mean Lawrence, obviously. They were playing a lot cleaner football. He went out the next week, and I think he threw 3 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 interceptions the week after rolling his ankle. I think it's a mistake that he's still playing if he's that hurt, because if you lose these last 3 games the way you lost the last 3 games, could you have had a better chance with a backup quarterback that's fully healthy? I don't know. It kind of seems like he was wanting to keep that streak alive, that he hasn't missed a game yet, and he wasn't going to let an ankle keep him out. But he clearly has not been the same the last 3 weeks. So if he gets healthy, the Jaguars have already shown you that they can win on the road. I mean, hell, they won back-to-back games overseas. So they're clearly a road-tested team. But as far as me ever, they were the favorites to win their division. I'll give them that. I mean, I'm shocked. Indianapolis with Gardner Minshew, is tied with them right now. But that division is not a very strong division. CJ Stroud has a concussion, so I mean they were always my favorites to win it, but that was more of you're taking the next step, to being in the playoffs, back-to-back years, and then build more. They were never really a Super Bowl type caliber team to me this year, if that makes sense. So as long as they make it, I think they're still on track. But Lawrence needs to be healthy for that offense to really be dangerous, and it just hasn't been.
Nestor?
Yeah, the Lawrence's injury issues don't help at all. I honestly I never put Jacksonville. I think when we did the top 10 NFL teams, I didn't put them in the top 10, and this is why. I mean, they can be favorites to win their division and everything. I just don't think the competition is there in the first place. I think they're a decent team, a good team, but I wouldn't put them in the same category as these other teams. As a like, I don't know, top 7 teams I could probably think of on the spot. I wouldn't put them in there. Um, so this doesn't surprise me if you have their, you know, uh, Trevor Lawrence injured, that they're losing games against the Ravens, against Cleveland, and then that OT loss against Cincy, that had to sting, because you're going up against a Bengals team that doesn't have Burrow, and you're thinking, well, we could probably win this at home, and then you lose in overtime, and then you're facing two, you know Cleveland isn't a top 3, but they have a great defense. So there's that loss, and you gotta face the Ravens. So they just, like Malin said, you gotta like look at Lawrence and see if he's healthy. You gotta worry about that right now, because I don't see right now with the stretch Houston has had in the past few games. I don't know. I'm not feeling too confident about them. So I would focus on his health and see, because it's also a lot of like shitty luck. I mean, you get injured in that OT loss, and then you gotta face these 2 top teams. So, um, what was the question? Not
Has your faith been lost in the Jags?
No, I never had faith in them. Yeah, I never put him in the top 7 or top 10. So, I hope that, man. I gotta hope, good things for them. But are they better than my Dolphins? Are they in the top 7? No, they're not.
I don't have to have faith in them. I think Duval County can get nuked and the world would be better off. Nobody ever gives a shit about Jacksonville. Like, when you think about Florida, you don't think about the northeast part of the state. Nobody gives a shit. Dumbest fan base ever. Like, that's their chant, is they just yell Duval to you. Like, if you don't know where you're at, you're in Duval County. So all
God.
these Georgia inbreds that came into Florida, started fucking each other and had kids, they're all Jaguar fans now. But when you think about the 2 best teams that this team played, they played the Niners and they played the Ravens, right? Like, that's the 2 best teams they played this year, and they scored a total of 10 points against both of them.
Jesus Christ.
So they're not ready. They lost 34-3 to the Niners, 23-7 to Baltimore. I mean, kudos for keeping Baltimore under 30. They almost score 30, like it's easy. But no, it's Nestor's being too nice. Fuck that city.
I'm 90% sure I had them on my top 10 when we did our midseason power rankings. So I have lost some faith in the Jags. At the time, I was pretty convinced they were going to win the division. And then Houston kind of cooled off a bit, but at the same time, Jacksonville has cooled off a bit. So it's like it works out in Houston's favor and in Indianapolis's favor, because Jacksonville, they lost their last 3, and that it's just that injury, man. Like, that injury has put a bookmark where it's like the Jags before the Trevor Lawrence injury, and now the Jags after, because they were rolling before that. Like Malin said, they still struggle to beat the more elite teams, but they were winning the games they should win without a doubt. So now when you look ahead, and they've got Tampa this weekend, they've got the Panthers the following weekend, and then they finish against the Titans. Carolina should be no problem. But this weekend against Tampa is a very, very big game, because both teams have playoff implications where they're trying to win their division. That's going to be a really good one. But I don't know. That one could go really either way. And Indy and Houston both are 8-6. Like, they're all tied at 8-6. And it looks like, I think Indy has a slightly easier schedule. Like, they play Houston, Atlanta, and somebody else.
Jacksonville plays Tampa, Carolina, and Tennessee.
Right.
So you got to wonder about Will Levis's health a little bit. They should beat Carolina. Tampa, I hate to admit it. God damn it. What? Could Baker ball with his perfect passer rating ass. I think that's going to be a hard game for them to win.
Yeah, Vegas. That's the other team the Colts play. They finish against Falcons, Raiders, and Texans. So, I mean, if Gardner Minshew can take the Colts past the Jags to win that division, that would be wild.
That shorts wearing motherfucker.
Yeah,
Man,
but yeah,
crazy.
I've definitely lost faith in the Jags only because of that injury. They still have their issues outside of that, but they need Trevor Lawrence clearly because that overtime loss against the Bengals kind of summed everything up. It was like the moment he went down, they just fell apart. So,
I'll tell you the one thing I don't want to see happen though, is I do not want to see all Florida teams make the playoffs. I'm sorry, Nestor. I know you're a Dolphins fan. You're the one that gets the bye. But what are we doing in the NFC South, man? Why is all these monkeys trying to hump a football down there? None of them can beat Baker Mayfield. Like,
goodness.
he was like what 22 of 28 for 382 yards, 4
Balling.
touchdowns, a perfect passer rating.
Golly.
Like, what? What are we?
I'm sure you've enjoyed it to some point because you have Mike Evans. So
It'll be a party in Tampa.
I was happy the first quarter when Mike Evans scored a touchdown. But he doesn't even know who Mike Evans is. I think he was trying to throw it to Godwin by accident and just happened to throw it to Mike Evans. Because Mike Evans got me 1.8 points the week before.
Yeah.
So this whole team can just. I can't even say it before we get kicked off of YouTube, but I'm angry about it all, man. Like I look at it and I'm like 7-7. The Saints are 7-7. Atlanta's 6-8. Carolina, they're already eliminated. But I think we all had Atlanta down in the division. I think we did. I know I did. I know I had Atlanta. But New Orleans, man, come on, do something for me.
I know.
Come on.
Pretty
Come
sure
on,
I picked
Carr.
them to win the division.
Flex those biceps, put on some extra thick eyeliner, get out there, and throw the fucking rock and score some touchdowns to make the playoffs, man. Let's do it. We got 3 weeks.
Right.
3 weeks.
Man.
Jesus.
That will bring our recap to a close, which will bring us right into our next segment, which is Mahlon's Misery in 5. So nothing screams the holiday season more than our very own Mahlon describing what's pissing him off this week.
Well, it's not like there's not a multitude of things that pissed me off. Like from the NFC South to, Duval to Seahawks with a 4-game losing skid. Thank you, Eagles, for helping us with that. But no, what I want to talk about this week is professional athletes that think just because people are not professional athletes have no right to comment or talk about the game. So let's go ahead and talk about Mendenhall here. So Mendenhall, who was not even a great running back. Not even a great running back. Like Christian McCaffrey is better at being a running back than you. And he happens to be white. That's great. I would think that even Toby Gerhart was a better running back than Mendenhall when they were both in the NFL together. Okay? If you don't know who Toby Gerhart is, he was Christian McCaffrey before he was Christian McCaffrey, people. But he goes on and he basically just lambastes like every white person that wants to talk about sports, saying that, if you're not any good at football, they need to get rid of the Pro Bowl, and we should have an all black and an all white. Like, we don't have enough racial issues right now in this country. Now we need to go ahead and segregate football even more. So he just wants them to play each other. And he basically says that white people just have no business talking about football because we suck at it. And he's better than any white person that's ever played the game, is what he was referring to when he said that he was better than our GOAT, like a white person, like a GOAT. And I'm like, okay, first of all, did you forget the fact, that Tom Brady's white, and he is the GOAT of football? or did you have too many concussions, or was it because you played with the Steelers? So maybe you got some of that AJ Brown, and some of that other issues that got going on there. But it just kind of made me mad because he singled out white people. I'm like, why does everything got to be about race? Like, why? Like, I can tell you right now, who is the number one commentator on basketball right now? Who is the leading sportscaster that can talk about basketball right now? Can you guys name who it is?
Roy Taylor.
Mike Breen.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith, right?
Like
Stephen
analyst.
A.
Yeah,
Smith,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Did he play basketball?
No, not professional.
The only thing Stephen A. Smith is winning at is the fastest receding hairline. For God fucking sakes, like, he doesn't have a single he doesn't have it. Look at him. He doesn't have an athletic bone in his body. Like I played high school football. Does that mean that I'm better than other people that didn't? No. Like most of your NFL head coaches never played professional football. They may have played in high school or something like that. Is Mendenhall smarter than someone like Andy Reid or Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or Bill Belichick or all these other people? No. Like to me, there was just no reason to once again bring up race. It just made no sense. And if we really want to talk about the rosters, I'm just going to be honest, guys. We're winning more position groups than what I thought we would. We are. We're winning some position groups that I didn't think we would, but we got a pretty good roster. You are beating the shit out of us on corners, though. There's no way we're stopping Tariq Hill or Justin Jefferson, or even if you want to throw Jamar Chase out there. Like, there's nobody. I was looking at somebody on TikTok, and they had the starting right cornerback for the white people was
Somebody from Denver.
The white guy from Remember the Titans. Because we don't got nobody else. So yeah, we're getting cooked on the corners. But I'll tell you one thing: if it came down to a kick, we win in the fucking ball game. All right, so that's for goddamn certain. But no, I just didn't appreciate it. I think it just came off as ignorant. And there's nothing that. Sports is the one thing that doesn't need to be racially divisive, and I'm glad that a lot of people are having fun with it. I just don't think there's any place for it, and shame on him for trying to bring it up. Like, sports is what we get into to get away from all that other bullshit that happens. So, because basically Mendenhall basically means that, like, I can't be on the show. I can't be friends with you guys. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And so I don't know. To me, it just came off stupid and ignorant.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've never even heard of that guy before in my life. I will say that whole narrative of if you didn't play, then you shouldn't be allowed to speak on the game. I've always thought was really, really dumb because it just it has no relation to how how well you can comprehend the game and speak on it. To did you play? Like, I don't understand where that line is drawn. Like, we do that with everything. Like, we talk about shit that we have never actually done, but that doesn't mean you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But yeah, I don't know where the race part comes into things. Like you said, Mahlon, that's kind of the beauty of sports. It's like, if somebody's on your team, doesn't matter what they look like, you love them. If somebody's on the other team, it doesn't matter what they look like, you hate them. That's just how it goes.
And it doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you can play, you can play.
Right, exactly.
Steve Largent was like a little white leprechaun, and he was the first player in NFL history to get 100 touchdowns. Like, I mean, come on. But like, you don't remember who Rashad Mendenhall is, though? He did win a Super Bowl with the Steelers when they beat Arizona, but he was only in the league. He was like Willie Parker's replacement. After Parker left the Steelers, but he was only in the league for 5 years and only had 4,200 yards, and in 5 years had 37 touchdowns. So, I mean, it's not like he was like blowing the doors off of people.
Right.
So for him to say that he'd beat any white person's GOAT, I'm like, Christian McCaffrey, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? You got a guy there. And I will just say this: if we really are doing whites versus blacks, we're taking Samoans. You guys are not getting Samoans, so we're getting Vita Vea, we're getting Puka Nakua, because I can't just have Cup and Thielen. I can't have Thielen's ass out there. I need Nakua. Okay.
You have a feeling you're losing.
So, and we'll have to do a coin flip for Mahomes, to be honest with you, because he's light chocolate, but he's married to a white woman with blonde hair named Brittany. So I think that makes him more white than black.
We still have to claim Mahomes. That's
Just saying, y'all trying to claim the dude from the Raiders just because he has a bunch of tattoos. Shit, I got a lot of tattoos. But we're gonna have to coin flip for Mahomes, because he's definitely chocolate, but I don't know if he's white chocolate or if he's milk chocolate. I don't know which chocolate he is, but he was complaining like a little white bitch a couple weeks ago, so he might be a little bit more influenced.
Nestor, any thoughts on this?
No, I'm glad people were having fun with it. Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is going to end up so bad. And thank God I don't have Twitter, because I could imagine where some people went with this.
Oh, Jesus.
But on TikTok, people were having fun with it. They're like they were just putting out the teams. They were like, well, somebody put a corner from the Denver Broncos that's not even starting. I was like, who is this dude? I've never seen him in my life.
He put Mike Bobo, who's a wide receiver for the Seahawks, as a safety because they were moving Justin Smith over to DB. I was like, God damn it. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, though. I think we win on defensive line. I think we got
definitely
much better pass rushers.
Right.
Defensive line, offensive line. I think our wide receiver core is better than people think it would be. I think quarterback. Again, we're taking that. Got Nakua, damn it. Once you start getting to safety and DB, and you're like, we got Mike Bobo or we got, Sauce Gardner. I'm like, shit, that's not gonna work out good for us.
This is unifying other minorities, because they're like, no, you belong to us, and they're like, no, you belong to us.
And the funny thing is, we out here like making trades with people. We're just
Right.
we'll take this whole nationality, and you can have like this one white guy. Like who's the defensive end from the Raiders that what's his name? God damn it, can't think of his name. He's the defensive end of the Raiders.
They're giving you guys Max Crosby. I saw him in a lot of lines.
Crosby. But people think that Crosby, even though he's white, they're saying he's more black colored. They're like, we get Max, and I was like, all right, well then we get all the Samoan people. That's why I got a coin flip Mahomes, man. But listen, I like it. We still got Burrow or not. We still got Burrow and Allen, and we got some other people to play. You guys can have Russell Wilson, though. If you guys want Russell Wilson,
no.
You can have Russell Wilson. We'll get J.J. Watt out of retirement for a game. It'll be awesome.
We'll trade you Juju and Russ for T.J. Watt. How about that?
God damn it, that's a bad trade. That's a bad trade. I don't like that.
Tell you what, we're not putting Stephon Diggs in there. Any position.
Stephon can't be. I mean, you already got three. I mean, can you Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson?
I don't want him on the bench.
You can't beat that squad with those three. I mean, but here's an argument though. Okay, so Derek, wouldn't you say that like Derrick Henry would be the starting running back for the?
Probably.
But who would you rather have? Would you rather have John Taylor? Would you rather have Jacobs? Would you rather have Derrick Henry? I mean, not that you're probably going to have to run the ball a lot because we ain't got no goddamn DBs. So Tyreek Hill is going to be doing multiple fucking backflips into the end zone.
Just launch that shit.
Just, I heard people putting out there that they'd rather have and this is true, Lamar Jackson. Just put Lamar Jackson out there at quarterback. Like, even as inaccurate as he is, he'll still be so goddamn wide open. They could just stop, catch the ball, then start running again, and they still won't be close to him. So I don't know. But if it came down to a field goal, we got Justin Tucker, baby. Yeah, Justin Tucker.
Yeah, let's move on to the next segment here, which is gifts for our team. Since this is our last episode before Christmas, we do this every December, where we give a gift to our own team, whether it's your NBA team or NFL team, or really any team for that matter. One thing that you would like to have your team gifted with, what would it be? Nestor, let's start with you. What would you like for your team?
This is hard. Do
you want us to come back to you?
No, I just give me a top 3 fucking linemen, so Tua can have plenty of fucking time to slip and fall, and then loses the game in the last fucking 50 seconds on a drive that should be a winning drive. So give us somebody, because I know Armstead is out. Our O-line right now doesn't look too good. Give me a top 3 O-lineman, because we are struggling without that. That's about it. However, I will tell you what. Another gift I would want, if that couldn't happen, I'm gonna talk about overseas sports. Barcelona. I want one of those Saudi Arabian prince guys that are billionaires to buy the damn team, so we can get some actual talent on that team, because we are a fucking mess. We haven't been title contenders for champions since Messi left. So please come buy the whole damn team. Fuck Spotify. I don't care about that sponsorship. Buy the damn team. Give us 200 mil. Start the first year, please.
Modest.
Modest.
Very modest. He wants a Saudi prince to buy his favorite football team.
Right.
Is that...
Go ahead, man.
I'll settle for the online minute.
Oh, go ahead, Santa. Get that man a Saudi prince.
Settle for the old.
We over here divvying up every other goddamn nationality. Let's just start handing out Saudi princes. Make our sports lives better. So I'm gonna go actually college on this, and this is on my wish list. I want a 2-game winning streak from the Washington Huskies. In 2 more games, we end the year 15-0. We're national champs, baby. So that's what I want. The Seahawks, they're what they are. They're not a Super Bowl contender right now. They get in there. If they did something crazy, I would lose my mind, and I would be very excited about it. My Mariners right now are in the midst of a fire sale, even though they just made the playoffs 2 years ago for the first time in 21 years. Now they're like, you know what? Let's make it another 20 years before we make the postseason and get rid of everybody. The Kraken are playing like shit. They lose every goddamn overtime game they play. But my Huskies have been the one team to get me through this fall.
Nice.
2 games. 2-win streak. Let's win these playoffs. Get a natty. That would make me very happy.
Nice. It's a bit more reasonable than the Saudi prince. For mine, oh boy, where do I start? Really don't have anything to add for the basketball side of things, but for the Patriots, I mean, I understand that it's just, it's Santa Claus. It's not a genie where you get all these wishes. So if I had to just pick one thing, It would have to be a new head coach. Subtract about 40 years and give them an offensive mind, and I would be happy with whoever that is. Because at this
want
point,
Staley.
oh Jesus, that's not what I mean. Although I hear he's available these days.
You got to be very specific with your gifts. If you know anything, like if you were wishing to Krampus and not Santa Claus, you'd be very disappointed in what he gave you.
Well, if the Raiders fire, what's his name, Antonio Pierce, you guys can have him. There you go. There it is.
Not at all an offensive-minded person. It's almost like paying attention to your little headphones.
We can take Mike McDaniels off the Dolphins' hands. We'll gladly take him, just ship him up north, and we'll be all right. Besides that, even if they were older, Andy Reid, I'd gladly take Andy Reid. We'll start there and then address all our other issues. That would be my gift.
Would you take like an offensive coach from the Rams, the Niners, if you didn't know what their name was right now, but you ended up hiring them?
That's fine. That's acceptable.
You got to think about it. Like, no one really knew who Mike McDaniels was.
Right.
Or he went to the Dolphins.
Right. I would I'd gladly take that. Even if it was Coach Harbaugh at this point, coming from Michigan, let's do it. I'd be excited to see how that would go. So that's my gift. So we all have very, very different expectations, but that's where we're at.
I think yours and mine are a little bit more realistic.
Right.
Just a little bit more.
Considering my Huskies have already won 13 straight, winning 2 more, it's not that much of a leap, even though they are coming from the pack and playing, and you're already supposedly getting a new head coach anyways. I hope so. Mr. over here, he wants a Prince. Disney movie.
Buy the team, please. We suck.
Okay, so we're gonna go to a break, and on the other half, we've got the L's of the week, where we will be revisiting Brandon Staley, and the Ride or Die in 5, which was a train wreck last week, but we're getting you back on track this week. Don't worry about it.
That's been 2 bad weeks for me. A whole fall has just been bad.
So sit tight for about 10 minutes, and then we will be back.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat, like I ain't just had on a coat when I landed, out branded. Perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
This is the first time the Heat have made the finals since LeBron left.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, true.
What the fuck?
Nobody wants to guess.
Is it Kyle Lowry?
If Kyle Lowry's number
Do I get the point?
Yeah, I'll give you the point.
I guess 2 of them. Do I not get points for that shit too? Can I just make a complaint?
How many times have these two teams played each other in the regular season?
Once.
Is incorrect.
No?
Three.
Twice.
You already guessed.
Shaq, what was your guess? 3. That is incorrect.
Twice.
2.
G Money, any guesses?
I already said it.
We don't know if that's correct.
Well, I mean,
it is correct.
G-Money, try 5.
Why this man had the most amount of points to complain about?
How is it taking that fucking long?
You missed the first question because you answered too fast. Not thinking.
He's stupid.
That's pretty hurtful.
First of all, this is the last time we're ever doing trivia. I don't give a damn what happens.
get her. Band frame, get her. With whatever. I buy diamonds when I'm under pressure. When I apply, shit don't ever let up. Yeah. Look, I'm in the cut, the boy in the cut. Jump in the whip with the ceiling go up, we up. All of this grinding for what? It's funny when you niggas thought it was luck.
So who is that? All right, these Lance Spider Mitchell. You gotta put on the top. Oh, that's somebody good. Ooh, Steph Curry. Okay. Ooh, that feels bad. There's Darren Fox. Thank you.
Damn. Is that gonna fall the moment he gets it out?
Oh my god.
How am I supposed to even turn this now?
By the way, the person who knocks it over, your lineup doesn't even count.
He took Zion. Listen, that's the best I can do, dude.
Can't be alright. Jared Allen, you're coming home with me, friend.
Stack it.
Mr. IG Live himself.
Oh, the shooter. Oh, Jesus. That was harder than the Bulls fought to get Zach LaVine.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
If Miami can maintain their momentum and find a way to beat the Bucks in this series, you will be seeing us in the final. There's no question, ifs, ands, or buts about it, so be prepared to see us.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Game wants his ring, and he's gonna get it. And he's like, "Fuck him." He's got to play lights out. He's gonna come out there and play lights out. Butler's gonna put the whole load on his shoulders. And I say he wins game 1. Great momentum. That's how you start a series.
All 3 of the previous series, they were the underdog. All 3 of those series, they won game 1. Denver's 9-0 at home in the playoffs. They take game 1. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets win their 4th straight road game in these playoffs and regain home court advantage. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets are 1 win away from their first ever NBA title. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Murray falling away. Rebound, Brown banks it home. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets back up by 1. Jimmy Butler on the drive, gets inside, stops. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. And a foul. 2 clutch free throws from Contavious Caldwell Pope. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions. Yeah. Still waiting, wanting got to keep me on chill. Don't you release me, I'll kick it with my new bitch, I still. Yep, in my white tee. Yeah, call up Mike Williams for the hype, please. They gon' wipe you before you wipe me. Boxes of checks, not my Nikes. Cactus, not no iced tea. Got them bamboozled like a Spike Lee. You need more than Google just to find me. I just call a beta, get a high fee. Incredible, general. I just got the label just to sign me. Me and Chase connected like we signed me.
All right, boys, some last minute prize picks for tonight's Monday night game. We've got these 3 players. Travis Etienne, he's gonna score. He is one of the Jags' best weapons on offense. He'll find the back of the end zone, taking Travis Etienne to score a touchdown. Joe Mixon with Browning being the very inexperienced quarterback that the Bengals have. They're probably gonna be handing off the ball a lot tonight, so I'm thinking Mixon's gonna have more than 48.5 rush yards. And last but not least, Josh Allen to have a sack tonight. He's had a sack in at least all 5 of the last games they played, probably even more than that. But again, with Browning inexperienced quarterback back there. I think that he gets to Browning a few times, and Josh Allen has another sack tonight. So these are my prize picks for tonight. Let me know if you're putting money on this same exact slate, or if you got your own. Let me know what it is in the comments below.
Going and filming other teams that they did not want to see in the college football playoff, and then giving that information to opposing teams in hopes that that team might lose. That happened last year with Tennessee versus South Carolina. South Carolina was a dog shit team last year. Tennessee was undefeated. All of a sudden, Tennessee plays South Carolina. They lose 63-28, I think it was, after losing their starting quarterback. But starting quarterback for South Carolina all of a sudden completed over 80% of his passes, 400 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's crazy. It's also kind of wild that the entire South Carolina defense was wearing playbook pads on their arms, but there was a Michigan staffer that was on the sideline wearing Central Michigan sideline gear, walking up, rubbing shoulders with all of the coaches, and he's a Michigan staffer. This goes so far beyond just the normal thing. Describe your favorite team in 3 words. Mine, being a Seattle Seahawks fan, is what the fuck? What the fuck are we? How did we get blown out by the Rams? Then beat the Lions week 2. How did you get to beat the Browns and then lose the way you did to the Niners, who lost to the Browns? Now we got the Cowboys, the Niners again, the Eagles. What are we doing? Are we making the playoffs? Does Pete Carroll have to retire? Are we going to throw DK Metcalf the ball more than 3 motherfucking times? What are we doing, people? But at the end, you tell us. How do you describe
Remember
your
to follow
team
the show on TikTok
in
and
3
Instagram
words?
at
Let
Ever
us have it.
Sports. Now
Catch you
back
later.
to your favorite show on the internet with your hosts, Jaylon, Mahlon, Nestor, and G Money.
That snuck up on us.
Oh shit, we don't have a. Where the hell's G Money?
G Money's not here yet, but that is all right because we are back. The second half, your favorite show on the internet. G Money, I'm sure, will be popping in at some point. This break just flew by real quick.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, folks, we've got a few things to get into. G Money just signed off of Discord. I'm sure he's figuring it out. Yeah, so let's pick up with the L's of the week because there are a few. Oh, that's right. Yes. Before we do that, second half. Cheers.
There we go. Cheers, people. It's Christmas season.
Cheers.
Best we got. Doing the best we can with what we got, right, Jalen? That's what dads do.
Amen.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
There he is. There's the money man himself. See, I knew all we needed to do was say shots, and he was going to be on.
That's how you
How we
summon
doing,
G Money.
When I'm on Discord with my phone, my sound is foobarred. It's like I'm deaf. I am deaf, by the way, but it's just like I can't.
More deaf.
Yeah, more deaf. Like I'm in the other room deaf.
High definition deaf. There we go.
You're doing pretty good for a deaf guy.
Yeah. Ooh, man, that's a dark beer. What are you drinking?
It is a dark beer.
Yes,
It's a Doppelgoat Lager.
There you go.
Aged in bourbon barrels.
There you. God damn.
Nestor.
Party.
I don't want to. Let's move on.
That sounds like a damn meal. That's what that sounds like. Jesus. Nestor can't talk with that BBC beer.
I knew
it. He was like, let's go on.
I knew it was coming. You want to talk about dark beers? I got six
not
pack
BBC,
of them.
that's for sure.
Oh, God.
Got a 6-pack of them. Man, it's fun at parties.
Mahlon, what did you just take a shot of?
Oh, I took a shot of the Four Roses single barrel again. That seems to be my my go-to that I've been taking shots of. I've been doing it for weeks now, especially when it's superstitious with me with the Huskies right now. I started doing it when the Huskies kind of started getting into some rough games, but pulling out some close ones, and I'm just going to keep finishing it off until we win the Natty. But I see that G Money has a shot up there.
G Money.
What were you holding up a shot glass of there, G Money?
I've got Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Oh, okay. There you go. Nice.
I didn't want to mess up drinking Jack Daniel's single malt, doing a shot of that with the lager there.
There you go.
Very nice.
We're not alcoholics at all, people.
No, I am just indulging in this dead parrot that we still had in the fridge here, Mahlon.
Yeah, that's good.
Completely forgot about. I was like, hold on, is that's still back there? I'm grabbing one of those. So, very good.
I love how we still have beer in the community fridge.
Yeah. I was like, who brought in this Florida Ave? Oh, we did, like 3 months ago.
We had mentioned something about some Indians in the office. I don't know why you guys mentioned it, but now
because there's Indians in the office. That's why we mentioned it. There's Indians in the office, and they're shifty.
All I picture is them arguing every time they open the fridge, seeing the beer for some reason, and then shaking their. I'm sorry. Just get that picture every time.
Surprised they haven't tried to claim the fridge as part of their reservation at this point. This is ridiculous. Damn. Driving an orange Dodge Dakota. Oh no.
Oh, this show's getting very personable. Let's move on.
I like Indians. Great baseball team.
Else of the week. This is where we recap some of the worst L's suffered in the world of sports this week, all of which we're going to stick to the NFL for this segment of the L's of the week. And we're going to start off with the Lions and the Broncos game on Saturday. Final score was 42-17. Sean Payton and Russell Wilson not having a very good showing on Saturday evening. And Detroit feeling themselves. What did you guys think about this one?
I'm upset at Sean Payton for this reason. He's making me feel sympathy for Russell Wilson. Like that kind of pisses me off because I don't want to feel sympathy for Russell Wilson. I want Russell Wilson to lose at most things. I don't want him to lose at life because he does have a very beautiful family and I want them to prosper and be great. But if bad things were to happen to him professionally, whether it be endorsements or you catch him in bed with his brother like they did Earl Thomas or anything like that, I wouldn't be all that upset about it. But Sean Payton, like, he seems to act like anytime the Denver Broncos do something bad, Russell Wilson's fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, forget the defense, allowing 42 points, allowing Jared Goff to get out of that slump in a big way. 5 touchdowns against that defense. Did you guys ever see Sean Payton berate Drew Brees on the sideline the way he did Russell Wilson? I mean, you want to talk about the optics of trying to look racist right now? Like, calm the fuck down, Sean. Like, goddamn. Like, at the end of the day, you're like, Russell Wilson has not had a bad year. He's had a few bad games, but he's almost thrown for 3,000 yards. He has 24 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. He's having a better statistical year right now, touchdown to interception, than people like Hurts, than people like Mahomes and Allen. And I think that, like, Prescott and Purdy are like the 2 runaway favorites. So he's not Prescott or Purdy right now, but he's playing pretty well. I mean, he's completing almost 70% of his passes. He's at like 66% of his passes, almost 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That is damn near, and you can ask G Money this, that's damn near par for the course for Russell Wilson when he was a Seahawk, because he's going to probably end up with 30 touchdowns, 33 touchdowns. Maybe he's got 3 games left, right? Under 10 interceptions, maybe 12, 65% of your passes. He never threw for a shit ton of yards except for a couple years in Seattle. And so I think that Sean Payton is being unreasonably harsh in the blame game on Russ when the team themselves lose, the rest of the team doesn't perform. I mean, because the last game he didn't necessarily play great. He was 18 to 32, 223 and 1 touchdown, but he didn't have 3 turnovers like he normally does when they lose. So I don't know. I just think that Sean Payton's being a dick. And he needs to knock it off and stop making me feel bad for Russ. Shouldn't be out here having to defend Russ.
You know what I'm saying? When you say that, I'm picturing Jim Carrey's The Grinch, where at the end of the movie they X-ray his chest and you can see his tiny heart starting to feel, and that's Mahlon's heart for Russell Wilson.
It is. I'm about to have a major medical issue and fucking die.
Right. Nestor, G1, do you guys have any thoughts on this specific game before we move on?
I don't know. I'd give Detroit some credit for being the Detroit that some people expect them to be, that, the ones that are optimistic about the Lions. Me, not so much. But, man, Sam Laporta, he can ball. You got guys like Jahmyr Gibbs. Later half of the season, he's been fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Honestly. He and then you got they have a new CB, I forget, it's super hard to pronounce his name, but this kid is like pretty good. So the defense is only getting better. Like, his name is like Melvin Fawu or something like that. I don't know, but he's damn good. So give them credit, man, because Sean Payton should ease off a little bit, because Lions are a decent team, and when they play their ass off, they're a pretty good damn team. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton was channeling his inner Belichick when he went off on Payton when he went off on Wilson on the sideline. I mean, because Belichick didn't have any problems going off on Brady. Yeah, you won Super Bowl, so what? You're not performing. You're not doing what I think you should do, and this is how it is. But Russell Wilson's and Tom Brady, and it's a different time, and you can't bring that early 2000s shit into the game, because your players will turn all that shit off, and they won't care. And then, a year from now, you're back behind the booth calling a game again. Because the Waltons, they've got money. They don't care. They'll fucking dump your ass and go hire another coach. And it's hard for them to dump Russell Wilson because that money becomes guaranteed, or a lot of that money actually becomes guaranteed. And they're probably thinking, when they look at the games and if they're actually paying attention to stats and everything, they're like, he is, as Mahlon said, he's playing like Russell Wilson when he was with the Seahawks a year or two before he decided he wanted to leave. So he's not playing bad. He's just playing Russell Wilson. And if Sean Payton couldn't see that, that's Sean Payton's fault, not Russell Wilson's.
Yeah.
I gotta wonder what Tom Brady would think about that, about what happened between them two, because didn't he say something not too long ago about how the NFL was like, basically he was saying it was a little bit too soft. You know,
Right.
So you gotta
But
wonder.
I think he was talking more on the on some of the
penalties,
penalties
right?
that are called. But he benefited from a lot of those penalties when he was playing. So
Right. Yeah, it was kind of funny when he said that, because he was like the poster child for complaining about not getting calls when you played. But that's a whole different thing. Let's move on to the next L here, which was between. Hold on, bring this up. Oh, of course, Nestor's Dolphins shutting out the Jets 30-0. This was kind of a surprise because it was like the Jets feeling themselves coming off of a nice big win. Tyreek Hill was not playing this game, but none of that mattered at all.
Bullshit.
At all, because Jalen Waddle held himself a game, and the Jets turned right back into the Jets.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
That's just.
What'd you guys think of this?
I mean, there was good and bad on this game. One, like I said before, the Dolphins made Aaron Rodgers think, you know what, I'm not coming back this year, because I just saw what that offensive line allowed to happen. Zach Wilson knocked his ass out of the game. He was 30-0. He's like, you know what, I'm good. I'll keep talking about my marvelous Achilles heel, and I'll practice with the team, but I'm not fucking going out there with that bullshit line. Because if BYU boy out there fucking people's moms is getting killed, I'm not going out there. That's bullshit. I'm a little bit pissed off about the Jalen Waddle. I think it's the first time he had over 20 fantasy points this year. And it just so happens to be week 1 of the playoffs. I wasn't real happy about that. So if I don't give a shit if they have to cut Tyreek's, foot off and put a skate on that bitch, you better be out there this next week, because I need to make up some ground. But yeah, the Jets, I mean, damn. Their leading rusher had 12 yards. I mean, Simeon was 14-26 for 110 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and Brace Hall had, I don't know how many carries he had, but I know they only had 12 yards. And where the hell is Dalvin Cook? What the hell happened to that man? Anybody know what happened to him? Is he in the witness protection program? Is he in Sarasota with Nestor? Like, where the hell did he go?
Hey, they're asking about you.
Oh, yeah, he's hiding back there in the Christmas tree. He's like, I don't want to go in there because that offensive line sucks. But no, man, the Jets are just, they're a mess. The Dolphins did what they should do, even without Tyreek Hill. And I think it's good for the Jets to get a game in there without Tyreek Hill, because maybe they can learn how to plan a game plan without having to rely so heavily on his ass, and get themselves into situations or whatnot. But yeah, sense.
Yeah, this was good for Waddle. Very good for him, because we talked about how last season he was a lot more involved in the offense. It was good for Mossert. Good game for him, although I thought he could have been a little bit better. He said so himself too. Man, our defense. Chubb,
way.
Wilkins. We did. They did what they had to do. That's every time I play. We play the Jets. I get so happy because I know there's gonna be like so many sacks. That whole line is fucking horrible. Like you can just bet all day on on our defense because it's amazing. And I love to see Christian Wilkins just doing his little dance. Pretty funny. But they just did their job. This guy Zach Seiler, whatever his name is, uh, had a pick six against Titans. He almost did it again in this game. So I'm happy my Dolphins came out and did what they had to do right before facing the Cowboys.
Jalen, I just have to say that I don't know the last time that I've seen an NFL team manage 103 yards of total offense in a game. I honestly can't tell you the last time that happened. 103 yards total.
Pretty bad.
4 first downs.
Yeah. And how is James Cook? Like, what alternate reality are we living in where James Cook is outplaying Dalvin Cook by?
Well, Dalvin Cook's not even playing.
Yeah, and it doesn't make any sense
I
to
mean,
me. Like, wouldn't this be the perfect time for him to be playing when your franchise
Dalvin
quarterback
Cook
is
had
out?
he had 1 carry for 4 yards.
Yeah.
Ran for
I don't get it.
214 yards the entire year.
Very odd. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there because clearly it's something. But
If I was a Jets fan right now, I would be updating my life insurance and giving my family the gift of money. Is what I would be doing.
G Money, any thoughts on this?
It's not surprising. I mean, the Jets are just not good. I mean, their defense is fairly solid, but you can't be out on the field freaking 3/4 of the time. You get
36
tired.
minutes.
Yeah. And as far as our offense goes, I think now we know that Hackett not only was not a good head coach, he's not a good offensive coordinator either.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, your O-line is bad. The Jets O-line is bad. But you can't figure out how to get around that, how to maybe do some plays, something to help your quarterback, help him out. No, I mean, Hackett shouldn't be in the NFL. He should be he should be calling games on TV as opposed to calling games on the sideline. That's where he should be. And I don't know. Jets ownership is sort of like Giants ownership, notoriously cheap. I don't know if they're going to fire the head coach and the offensive coordinator and just start all over again, or if they think, well, it's because Aaron Rodgers wasn't healthy and playing, and they keep them. But Dollar should fire Hackett and get a true offensive coordinator. Look at the passing game coordinator for the 49ers. Bring him in.
Yeah, because he came from San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Saleh came from there. I mean, I don't think I'd let go of Saleh yet.
Right.
Because as a head coach, he's done. When you have a new head coach, the one thing you don't want to have is your specialty side of the ball being bad. And the Jets' defense has still been good the last couple of years. I don't think you can blame anybody as a head coach when you got Zach Wilson out there. And the plan was not for them to have Zach Wilson this year. But I do agree with G Money. They have to get rid of Hackett.
Yep.
I just wonder whether or not the Jets brass have the stones to get rid of Hackett, who Aaron Rodgers wanted.
Right.
That I'm not sure that they do have, but I agree with G Money that they need to get rid of him. Need to get somebody else out there. But Aaron Rodgers, at over 40 years of age, is going to want to be comfortable. He's going to want to be catered to. And so I have a feeling that Hackett's going to be back next year.
I don't think he is. I feel like the Jets are going to find the need to get rid of somebody after this year. And like you said, Salah's done actually a pretty good job. But Hackett, they're gonna look at him like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I feel like he's gonna get the axe. It's gonna create some drama next year between Aaron Rodgers and the front office, and it'll be not a huge thing, but kind of one of those passive aggressive Aaron Rodgers things that just kind of festers in the background. But yeah, Nat Hackett, man, what a just jeez, man. Like screws it up in Denver, then comes here. And it's like, do you need Aaron Rodgers? Like you got to exist in a vacuum only with him because outside of Aaron Rodgers, what have you done? Just a strange coordinator and head coach. But
He's the Aaron Rodgers version of Josh McDaniels.
yeah, exactly.
That's what he is.
Last L of the week, last Thursday night football was when Brandon Staley got his nail in the coffin. 63-21 was the final score in Las Vegas. What an absolute joke of a game. Was it Easton, the Chargers quarterback, against O'Connell for the Raiders? Made O'Connell look like a MVP candidate for a night. Sheesh.
Easton Stick. Okay. He's named after a baseball bat, and that's what he did. He bludgeoned them. Like he got bludgeoned to death for the Chargers. They just beat the shit out of him. I don't know, man. That was halftime, wasn't it? 42-0.
Yeah.
48-0.
Yeah.
Like all I could do, like I just kept thinking of what was it, Rocky IV, and Apollo Creed's getting his ass beat, and the other trainer's looking at Stallone saying, "Somebody throw the flag! Somebody wave the white flag and just get them out of there, man." Like you needed a mercy rule on this game. But the thing I thought was hilarious, though, is that even though the Raiders scored the most points they ever have in franchise history, and of course they would do it with O'Connell and not, and when he had Jerry Rice and Brown, or when they got even Hostetler and Tim Brown, or you had Plunkett, or you had all these other air raid people. I mean, the Raiders have been chucking the ball forever, right? So, of course, with O'Connell, they end up scoring 63 points. But in the most Raider fashion ever, like G Money said, they were 48-0. And you're like, damn, man. Like, they're just going to beat the brakes off of these people even more. And what do the Raiders do? They give up like a 79-yard touchdown completion. I was like, even when y'all win big, you find a way to play like ass at least a few times in this game. I mean, there wasn't a person more wide open the entire week than that touchdown for the 79 yards. I was like, what the hell happened on that play? I don't. The Chargers, man, they need to fire a lot more than just the GM and the head coach. I mean, we've been talking about Staley needing to be gone for years. Spanos needs to sell the fucking team. He has fucked up that team.
Yeah.
So much. Moving them to LA. They played in a fucking MLS stadium. Now they're sharing, SoFi with the Rams, and it's actually the Rams stadium. Just garbage ass owner. Just terrible. Just wasting talent. I mean, they've had more Hall of Famers and all-pro talent over the last 20 years. Extra Super Bowl. But it's just what a terrible franchise. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is linked to that job right now. If he gets the job, they'll be super relevant for 3 or 4 years until Spanos runs Jim Harbaugh out. But they would be an instant contender, the AFC West, with that roster if Jim Harbaugh was the coach of that team. But Staley was just a fucking joke. So, yeah, that game was just fucking funny. That was like Madden on rookie mode is what that was. 5 turnovers. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. G Money, what'd you think about that?
So, Thursday night game, yeah, I have it on as background noise, thinking, who the hell cares? Chargers, Raiders, both teams suck. It's probably going to end up being like 6-3. Well, then the Raiders start scoring. Their defense starts scoring. And all of a sudden it's like 28-0. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Can they score more, or are they gonna fold? And then halftime is 48, and I'm like, can they hit 60? Can they hit 60? And they hit 60, and I'm like, can they hit 70? Come on, guys, hit 70, break the record, hit 70. You can do it. And then of course, it's 63 and they give up 21. But Staley should have been gone last year. He really should have. If he was gone last year, they would have hired Sean Payton, which would have been a better coach. And I keep thinking this, right? With the roster that the Chargers have, if that roster was in New England, they'd be like 11-3 right now.
Yeah.
Because
you can't play the health card either, because the Raiders have their
can't play any of those cards. I mean, it's funny because after the game they asked him if he thought he was going to have his job tomorrow, and he goes, "Yeah, I think I deserve it. I think my record speaks for itself."
Talk about how he compared himself with. Oh, so go look it up. So many great coaches have had games like this. And I was like, first of all, you're not a great coach. Second of all, not many have been down 42-0 at halftime.
I mean, you look at it and you go like, yeah, no. Usually coaches that have a season like you get their asses handed to them. You're out going like, so what's California's unemployment? Because I'm pretty sure I could max out.
Want to know what really pissed me off during that game, Jalen? Let's talk about fantasy again. Just some bullshit. You would think that when a team scores 63 points and Devontae Adams is playing in that fucking game, you'd have more than 8 receptions.
Man, my boy Jacoby Myers.
You'd have more than 100 yards and a touchdown when you score 63 points. The Raiders found a way to fuck me. That's just awesome. He didn't score a touchdown until the third quarter. They put up 42 points. Meanwhile, Devontae Adams had like 4 points. I was losing my shit watching the game.
See, that's why you quickly pick up before the game, you pick up the Raiders defense.
That would have been great. Because the Cowboys got me -1, so that was cool. Cowboys got me -1.
Well, I shouldn't laugh. 2 games ago, my kicker got me a -1. So, I'm like, how the fuck as a kicker do you get -1 point? I mean, damn.
Did you have Young Koo from Atlanta?
Oh, shit.
No, I had some other dirt bag who obviously couldn't kick. And I think he missed an extra point, missed 2 field goals, and got a field goal blocked or something. I'm looking, so I went in and checked, and I'm like, wait a minute, there must be a mistake there. How the hell do you get a -1? How in hell, as a kicker, do you get -1 points? I mean, just putting your pants on correctly should be a point.
Well, if that's the case, I should have had 11 Cowboys get some points, but they didn't.
Let's move on to the last segment of the week here. The Ride or Die in 5. This is where we give you some picks for the weekend. I can't say that they're the best picks in sports because as of late, they have not been. Last week was not very good again. I think myself and June went 2-3, and then the rest of the gang went 1-4. So, yeah, not very good at all.
This has been a hard year, man.
It has
In this
been.
NFL,
It has
it's
been
been a hard.
very, very odd. So, yeah, these are the overall records. Mahlon is 214 and 159. He is plus 55. I am 229 and 187 plus 42. Nestor is 112 and 94. He's plus 18. And G Money is 133 and 121. He's plus 12.
Did you say I'm plus 55?
Correct.
And what week are we in?
16. Yeah, starting 16.
I was plus 68 going into
Damn.
week 1.
That's wild.
I'm negative 13 on the NFL season. Jesus Christ.
That's wild.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready for my ass. What's next?
Let's start off Sunday at 1 o'clock. We've got the Lions and the Vikings. The Lions are 3-point favorites on the road. G Money, would you like to start us off?
I think Detroit's going to win this game, but I can't help but look at Detroit on the road, and they're a totally different team than Detroit at home. So I'm going to take Minnesota plus the 3. I mean, I've sucked the last 2 weeks. Why stop that trend?
There you go. Man of conviction.
Nestor, go ahead.
I think Detroit is a good team. They're not very consistent, but I think the Vikings are less consistent than they are. I thought they had something with Dobbs. I really did. Like maybe not great, but they're gonna settle into something kind of good. Like we're thinking that is happening with Jake Browning and maybe the Bengals. I don't know, something like that. But no, they're very inconsistent. I don't trust the Vikings. I trust more the potential of the Lions. So give me Detroit minus the 3.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Nestor here. Both of these teams are very inconsistent as of late. However, if I was going to pick one of them, I think the Lions are just a bit more consistent. It's like, who do I believe in more, Josh Dobbs or Jared Goff? And at this point, give me Goff to win by 3 on the road. So, Mahlon.
That's exactly where I was going with this. Yes, they're both inconsistent. I get it. Against the spread, though, they're both pretty consistent against the spread, these teams. Detroit's 9-5. Minnesota is 7-4-3. So they've had 3 pushes. So they've all been near the spread a lot. But at the end of the day, I mean, if this was 2018, you're looking at a San Francisco 49er Rams showdown between Nick Mullins and Jared Goff. Here we are in 2023, and we got Nick Mullins and Jared Goff again. The crazy thing, though, is that even though I trust Goff more, he's been inconsistent as of late. The thing that kind of stresses me out is, and I'm going to take Detroit on this in the points, but I can't hate on G Money wanting to take Minnesota because Mullins didn't play bad. I mean, I assumed Mullins played bad because he's Nick Mullins, but he was 26 of 33, 78% completion percentage with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 300 yards. I mean, those 2 picks were bad. One of them was really bad. I don't know who'd have. I don't know. Maybe he was cross-eyed or something when he threw that last one. But you just gotta. I just feel like I trust the cohesiveness of Detroit's offense more than I trust the raw talent of Minnesota with Nick Mullins, because if you look talent-wise, I think that Minnesota with Jefferson, if he's healthy, and Addison is hell of a rookie. Like, God damn, how do they have both of these people right now? Just get them a fucking quarterback. But they don't have a running game. Detroit has a running game, so I'm going to take Detroit net -3. Please don't let me down.
All right. Moving on to another 1 o'clock game on Sunday. We've got the Seahawks and the Titans, where the Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Nestor, let's start with you.
The disrespect, honestly. Honestly. Honestly, the Titans beat my Dolphins, and then they go out and they lose. And for some reason, Seattle's only favored 2.5. Will Levis is the hype man right now, and he might be injured. You have no idea what's going on with him. No, give me Seattle and 2.5. If it was fucking 6, I probably might still take it. I just think they're overall just a much more talented team, and the Titans. I don't know why they're getting this hype, but Will Levis is a good dude, pretty decent quarterback. He's showing up, but regardless if he were to play or not, I think Tannehill's playing. Just 2.5. That's ridiculous. So give me Seattle.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Seattle in the points here. I believe. Yeah, I mean, the Titans are just not very good at all this year. Most of their wins have come at home. Like, they're really bad on the road. I think they've only won one road game this whole year. So I think because they're at home, they're getting a little bit of more respect. But yeah, Seattle, with what they have on the line right now, I don't think they're going to come out like a bunch of slouches here. Like, they know that they need to hustle. They need to win against a not very good football team in order for them to make the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans don't really have much to be playing for at this point when the rest of the division is way further ahead of them. So give me the Seahawks to cover the points and take care of their business on the road here in Nashville. So, Mahlon.
I'm taking Seattle minus the 2.5, and it's not just me trying to be a homer. Because believe me, I stopped being that after we were 5-2 and we lost 4 straight. What I'm really looking at is Will Levis being hurt, the Titans being more one-dimensional of an offense of running the ball. When you look at the Titans offense, their strength is running the ball. Our run defense outside of Christian McCaffrey has been really good, and I like the way that even without our starters, I'm hoping we have Witherspoon back. I hope that Jamal Adams stays home. Our pass defense, our secondary has been pretty good this year. Linebackers been really good this year. Bobby Wagner having another career year. Jordan Brooks having another career year. Williams that we got from the Giants. Good God, I think he had 4 tackles for loss last week. I actually hope that they trot out Will Levis. Because I don't like the way Seattle prepares for backup quarterbacks. Every 30-year plus, 35-year plus white guy that we play against fucking torches us for like 350 yards. And if, like, I can just name them. Colt McCoy with the Giants is one of them when he was playing with the fucking Giants, man. Like, every time there's a backup quarterback and you think, all right, we got this backup quarterback, this man has a fucking career game against us. So I hope they trot out Will Levis with them big ass goddamn biceps. I think that'll play into our hands a little bit. But Geno Smith is supposed to be back this week. And even though Drew Lock had that great last drive of the game, I think Geno was a lot more consistent. And the secondary of Tennessee is not very good. And it's ripe for a lot of short completions, run the ball with Walker, set up the play action, try to hit Metcalf deep. Please hit Metcalf deep because he's on my fucking fantasy team, people, and I need some good shit to happen. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Seattle on this one. Even though I probably won't be able to watch much of the game because it's Christmas Eve and my wife's family is wanting to have dinner during that game.
Oh God, I
So
forgot
I'm
it's
gonna be
Christmas.
watching it on my phone. So fuck Christmas. I,
Well, G Money.
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle, and I am a homer. And quite frankly, Tennessee's starting the fucking Christmas tree at quarterback. What is it? Tannenbaum? I mean, there's going to be a lot of gifts under that fucking tree as we sack him 8 times.
oh shit! It'll be
And
a lot of
Jamal
that bad.
Adams will not be playing.
home for
Still
the
some
holidays.
issue with his knee, ostensibly. And if any of you watched the post game show after the Monday night game with when Pete was in the locker room and he had everybody around him, he's going, "Can you win the game in the first quarter?" Like, no. "Can you win the game in the second quarter?" They go, "No." "Can you win the game in the third quarter?" They said, "No." "Can you win the motherfucking game in the fourth quarter?" "Fuck yes, you can." And I'm like, "God damn, Pete. Shit.
Carol.
Give yourself a heart attack. You're going to die." And then we're stuck with, I don't know who, but someone has
that was a game.
That was a good game. And since you are not going to be talking to me, you're not going to hear my concise, intelligent commentary from play 1 on.
Can I just let you guys know that we tuned in on the Monday night game, right? And the Monday night game started off, I think, with Swift running for 9 yards. And from the first play of the game, this was G Money. God motherfucking damn it. You just let him get that old ass Bobby Wagner off the fucking field. They're playing like shit. I was like, God damn, that's play number 1. That was play number 1. So no, this is only going to be probably the third football game in like 5 or 6 years that G Money and I won't be like talking to each other like while the game is going on. Because I'll be at someone else's house, but I'll have it on my phone. But yeah, that's funny. I'll still be able to text though, Gary. I'll still be able to text.
Let's get to the next game here. All right, big game Sunday at 4:30. We've got the Cowboys and the Dolphins, where the Dolphins are 1.5 point favorites at home. This was a tough one for me. One team coming off of a very easy win against a very bad team. Another team coming off a tough loss. Can the Cowboys kind of regroup here coming into Miami? I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys to cover the 1.5 because I do honestly believe that the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders this year. And I think that they cannot let that Bills loss fester, and they need to kind of bounce back and get back into the swing of things here. They're going, to hostile territory once again, and if they start to slide a bit, it just kind of seems like the Cowboys are on this mission this year to make it clear that they're not the Cowboys of the past, where they let these losses get in their head and they start to slide, and it's the Cowboys will be the Cowboys. They seem to be on a mission where they're doing things a bit differently than we're used to, and it has shown so far. So why not against the Dolphins? They go to Miami, they take care of their business, and what will probably be a very, very good game. At least I hope so. I think the Cowboys pull off the win, and yeah, I think they win the game. But I will gladly take the 1.5 for the Dallas Cowboys. So, Mahlon.
Yeah, I'm taking Dallas on this, just because Miami hasn't beat a team with a winning record so far this year. It doesn't happen. And Dallas, outside of last week, which I think we can all agree that playing in South Beach is a little bit easier than playing in Buffalo.
Right.
Right. I think we can all agree on that, especially for the offensive sake. I'm a little bit worried about Tyreek Hill coming back a little bit too early. I'm still a little bit worried about them being dependent on Tyreek Hill if he's not 100% and pushing the ball to him. Tua over the last 5 games, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Dak over the last 5 games, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception, and that's including last week where he didn't throw for a touchdown, then he had an interception. So in 4 games, he damn near doubled what Tua's done, like offensively. Miami's running game hasn't been necessarily great except for goal line situations. Mostert is the king of having multiple touchdowns and like 40 yards rushing. I know that because he's on my fantasy team. Don't stop scoring touchdowns, Mostert. A-Chain, I think, is still dealing with a little bit of an injury. He has not been the same since that injury that knocked him out for like 3 or 4 weeks. They're going to have to be able to get him going. But if Tyreek Hill is playing not 100%, they're going to push the ball to him, and Waddle's going to be able to be neutralized. And I think that Prescott, outside of this one game, has had a very good, productive season. When I say productive, he has not been. He's been great more than he's been bad. So I would like to think that he's going to get back to those winning ways. And Jalen Ramsey is probably going to get cooked a little bit by CeeDee Lamb. Because that's just what he does lately. He's more bark than bite at this stage in his career. So I'm sorry, Nestor. I would love for the Cowboys to lose, but I think they're going to win this game.
G Money.
I like Miami. Dallas is 1-3 on the road against winning teams. 1-3. Yeah, they're undefeated at home. But when they go on the road, then they're a totally different team. And they're not that good. And it's interesting because we exposed them when we went down to Dallas and played, as far as the passing game. We showed that they couldn't cover. The Bills showed that they couldn't block. They couldn't stop the run. I think Miami wins this game, and 1.5 points. Damn, that's people. I know Vegas wants a lot of money on this game, and they're going, it's almost an even game, but it's really not an almost even game. I mean, I thought when Dallas went to Buffalo last week, I thought this is where they show that they can beat a winning team, even though it wasn't a great winning team, a winning team on the road, and they got their ass handed to them. I mean, they basically got Buffalo did to them pretty much what the Raiders did to the Chargers. I mean, they just shut them the fuck down. And it wasn't until the 4th quarter. So, I mean, the game wasn't close, was never going to be close. And if your claim is to be a Super Bowl contender, those are games you have to win. I don't see them doing that. I see the Dolphins beating them. And definitely covering the 1.5. I mean, that's an insult.
The 1-3 on the road
against winning teams.
Yeah,
I know when they last won against a winning team, it was against the Chargers in Week 6, and they only beat them by 3. And that's the Chargers who had no coaches.
I mean, but Miami is 0-3 against winning teams overall, like whether it's home or on the road. I mean, it's not. I think we're kind of splitting apples there. But yeah, I mean, both teams need to show up against. And this is why it's a good measuring stick for both these teams, right? Like both of them have not shown up well against really good teams, and they both are really good teams. So I think it's going to be indicative of what we can expect in the playoffs based on what these people do, because none of them have really been showing up against teams with winning records.
Yeah, what about
Somebody's
you,
got to
Nestor?
win though.
Go ahead, Nestor.
My heart says Miami, but my brain is going Dallas. That's because our O line is pretty banged up. Armstead is out, Hunt is out, and lately watching these games, I see Tua just on a drive. You know, he's falling, he's slipping. Kind of doesn't know where to pass to without Tyreek Hill there as his compass. Um, and I worry about how he's gonna come back. Um, Again, that O line. I worry about our running game, especially against good teams with uh, decent defenses. The games that we've won at home, we have a great record at home, but we only played Denver, Giants, Panthers, uh, Raiders, teams like that. Like, um, so that's also a thing. No, I think out of the next 3 games, we're definitely winning one. I have a lot of hope. It might be this one. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I think we're getting in there. I think we're getting into the playoffs and we're gonna make a good run. But this game, because our online, I'm gonna give it to Dallas and the 1.5.
I'm glad you brought that up though, Nestor. But you're going to get one out of these three. You haven't won a single game against a team with a winning record, but you guys played Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo.
Can I get one of those?
I mean, if you want to talk about a team that needs it more, it's definitely Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, of those three, I would think Dallas would be the easiest. And by the way, when you're talking about O line, Dallas has problems too.
Yeah.
Tyrone Smith is injured with his back and may or may not play. That's a left tackle, and then their right guard is injured too, so he may not play.
Yeah.
So I mean, you both got banged up O lines, but
And you do have the
I
advantage with
actually have more faith in you guys being able to scheme offensively against Dallas than I have in Dallas being able to scheme against you.
I will say
Because
this.
if we look at Dallas, they don't do a lot of movement, a lot of wide receiver runs or anything of that nature. You know, it's basically Tony Pollard and passing to CD Lamb. Their tight end, the big white guy.
Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's coming on, man. He's had a better statistical.
But, I mean, there's not a lot of scheming there. There's really not. I mean, when you look at them, and I just feel that Miami's going to scheme more than what Dallas can handle, and maybe you see a little Niner magic down there.
I hope to God.
All I know is that if Dallas loses me this game, they're going on my nuke list.
Well, if Dallas loses, JB will be picking someone up from Afghanistan who won't be able to talk to us.
Yeah, June. I don't know that June could handle a Cowboys loss on Christmas Eve after. I think June.
I mean,
June, we would never hear from him again.
That will, because really Dallas has a chance to take the East, and then they lose to Miami, and then you kind of start looking at things, and you're like, well, you guys can't beat winning teams. What do you think you're going to the playoffs? And now you're going to go on the road in the playoffs, and you've already got that in the back of your head. You can't win on the road, and then you're going on the road in the playoffs, and you're going to probably Tampa, which you should beat. You really should, but it starts
Well, they
creeping
did
up.
last year. They beat Tampa last year. We were there. We were in
Right.
the parking lot. We were doing interviews. We got one more game, right?
2 more. So let's.
Yeah, we do.
2 more.
Well, we have 2 more games.
Yeah.
God damn. Okay.
Let's keep it
Let's go.
moving here. So we've got Christmas Day. We've got the Raiders at the Chiefs. 10 points in favor of the Chiefs. Mahlon, what do you like here?
I'm taking the Chiefs. I can't trust the Raiders. I trust the Raiders as much as I trust Tony, which you can throw to other people like Rice and Kelsey. Pachenko is still, I think, a top 5, 7 running back in the NFL. Just stop throwing the goddamn ball to Tony. Just bench him. I don't know why you haven't cut him yet. I think he's like a bad KGB informant. He's playing for the other fucking team. You keep him on the goddamn roster. I don't understand it at this point. But the Raiders, you can't trust the Raiders, man. Because they put up 63 points last week, but the week before that they put up a big offer to the Vikings.
Yeah.
So I mean, Jekyll and Hyde with them goddamn people. But the Chiefs are not going to turn the ball over 5 times. That's what it's really going to come down to. And they do have a better defense. So I'm taking the Chiefs. Let's just keep this simple. Let's not get too carried away with analytics.
G Money.
I believe the Chiefs will win the game, but they're not good at being double-digit favorites. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they double-digit favorites against the Patriots? They won, but they didn't cover.
I think it was 9.5. I think.
So I just don't see them covering. And I don't think Pachenko is playing. I think he's out.
He's out?
I think so.
I believe so. That was
Okay,
the last thing I read was that,
Taking the Raiders.
that it looked like he was out, so they're going to start
Raiders plus the 10.
the other running back.
Raiders plus the 10.
All right. Got it. Nestor.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs win this game. But I don't know. I feel that the Raiders are feeling hot after that win against the Chargers. Their coach is trying to keep his job for as long as possible. But the weapons he has, he's thinking about his boy Jacoby Myers. He's not really thinking about Devontae Adams as a choice when he's scheming up these plans. I think they're gonna do good. Max Crosby, he's a killer. Give me Vegas plus the 10.
I'm just double checking on Pacheco now. Andy Reid has said he is good to go this week.
I'll trust it.
Week 16.
I'll trust it.
Okay, so there's that.
Andy Reid's a liar. He's too many cheeseburgers.
To me, everything does line up, even regardless of Pacheco, that the Chiefs should cover 10 points against a pretty lame Raiders team. I'm taking that Chargers win kind of out of the picture here because that was just ridiculous. The Raiders are not good at all. The Chiefs should cover 10 points, and that's why I'm going to take the Raiders to come within 10 because this whole season doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I think for whatever reason, the Raiders, even though they have no business, they'll make the game close. They won't win, but they're going to just piss off all the people that picked the Chiefs to cover because that's how this season has gone. So
Listen, all it took was for G Money to remind me that they didn't cover against the Patriots, and so if the Chiefs can't cover
Right.
against the Patriots, they're not covering against the Raiders. That's it's not happening. O'Connell is better than Zappy and Mac Jones put together.
Right. So we're all taking the Raiders in the points there, or Nestor, did you
Yes.
take? Okay. We all did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then last but not least, the Christmas night game, if you have the big one, the Ravens and the 49ers.
What a great game.
Yes. 49ers 5.5 point favorites at home. G Money, who do you like here?
I like the Niners. I think they'll shut down Baltimore's run game, forcing Jackson to throw. Not that he's a bad quarterback, really. People tend to think, oh, he's just a runner, but no, he's actually a really good passer. But I think they'll get to him, and I don't think they'll stop the Niners' offense. I really don't. Give me the Niners and minus the 5.5.
Nestor?
Damn it. I gotta give Baltimore more credit than that. I just, which is funny because I wasn't on the hype train when they were blowing up. But I think the Niners will win this game, but I think it'll be closer than that. So give me Baltimore plus the 5.5.
I am also going to take the Ravens and the 5.5 because I'm sticking with my mentality here of the 49ers should cover at home because when they're at home, they just annihilate everybody. That's what you would think would happen. So give me the Baltimore Ravens to come within 5.5. This season is already fucked as far as my record goes, so what does it matter at this point? Malin, go ahead.
It's just the Niners, outside of that 3-game losing streak when they lost Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, and players, right? Like when they're healthy, they have not scored under 25 points in every single one of their wins. In fact, just to give you the last 6 wins they've had, right? 34-3 over the Jags, 27-14 over the Bucks, 31-13 over the Seahawks, 42-19 over the Eagles, 28-16 over the Seahawks, Cardinals 45-29. Even before that, it was 30-7 over the Steelers, 30-23, 30-12, 35-16, 42-10. They haven't had a game within 6 points that they've won all year when they've been healthy. So they're 9-5 against the spread. I hate the Niners. I hate all this Brock Purdy should win the MVP shit, but I can't help but he's had 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions his last 5 games. That's best in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm taking that Niners defense and that offense of just a ridiculous amount of talent. I'm taking the Niners minus the 5.5. When they win big. And I think they're gonna win. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Niners. Pisses me off, but I'm taking them. Fucking hate that team.
All right, just to recap, Detroit and Minnesota. G Money took Minnesota in the points. The rest of us took the Lions. We all took the Seahawks to cover the 2.5 points. G Money took the Dolphins to cover the 1.5, and then the rest of us took Dallas. We all took the Raiders in the points in the Christmas Day game, and then Christmas night. G Money and Mahlon, San Francisco to cover, while Nestor and I, Baltimore in the points. Does that all sound correct?
Now, sounds pretty good. It sounds like G Money has a opportunity to go like 5-0 against all of us. Well, actually, I would 1-4.
Right.
But yeah, Jesus. And, this NFL season, man, it's been fucking wild.
Yeah, it's a weird
crazy,
one.
right? I mean, you start off at the beginning of the season, you look at your team, and you think my team's pretty decent. I think we've got a good chance, and then
I don't
injuries
think
and
Jalen
bad
thought that.
coaching and everything else, and you're like, what the hell? What happened? And then you've got like.
I don't think Jalen thought that his team had a chance.
No, that's probably true. Because I mean, I was thinking you guys might have drafted a quarterback in the second or third round. If Belichick actually leaves the end of the season, either by his own volition or if Kraft basically tells him that that's it. Thank you very much. And you're looking at what the Patriots having like a top 5 pick. Do they take a quarterback? I mean, do you draft a quarterback or do you look at another position thinking that you can get a quarterback probably in the second round or maybe move back up into the first round to get a quarterback? I mean, there's going to be a good 4 or 5 quarterbacks available and probably more than that if you start looking at everything. But, Caleb Williams could be, they were talking about him being the number 1 pick. Now he could be dropping. Drake from North Carolina. You got Jalen Daniels from LSU, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy. And if they if the Patriots let Belichick go and hire Harbaugh from Michigan, does he then decide he's going to take J.J. McCarthy because he knows him, or does he go with someone else? I mean, because the rest of us, the Seahawks aren't going to get a pick until probably between 15 and 20. Miami doesn't need a quarterback, and they're probably not going to be picking until like 25 and below. So, the Patriots are the ones that are going to have the chance to get a quarterback.
Right.
But did they pull the trigger on that? Do they go for a quarterback in the first round?
Hopefully, you guys
We
get
better.
one.
As long as Bill Belichick's not there, then we should, because that's a sensible decision to make.
Other than that, people, I would just like to say, because I know we're about to sign off, Merry Christmas to you guys and your families and everybody else that watches us live or do podcasts. We appreciate you guys, and you get to listen to our dumbasses one more week before we hit 2024.
Right. Yeah. Merry Christmas to everybody who is watching or listening. Yeah, we got one more episode in the year, so have a very good weekend. Enjoy your holiday, and we will talk to you all next week.
Peace out.